Welcome back to another video. Today, I'm discussing my issue with the Demon Slayer movie. And this is my only issue. It's a great movie. It's a good movie. I recommend everyone to see it. It's a 7 out of 10 for me, of course. My only issue is that it should have been a season. For example, this is spoilers for the Demon Slayer movie. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. But if you watch the movie, it's 10 minutes of fight sequence, and I guess the first 10, 15, 20 minutes of the movie is just the Hashira and everyone else falling into the Infinity War castle. Legit, it's them, and then a flashback, and I think of Ubi Ishiki, if I'm correct on his name, talking about his sacrifice to the end. That is legit the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie, which I guess we didn't need the access lore. I guess it's good for people who forgot about it. But granted, season that Demon Slayer aired about a year ago, I don't think it left many people's minds of what happened, especially since other social media platforms won't let you forget. That's the power of it. Well, anyway, I guess that was to save budget and time. There is not a long action fight sequence. There is not a fight sequence that probably goes on for 30 minutes. I think it's like a 10-15 minute fight sequence, backstory. 10-15 minutes backstory sequence of fighting. Then you get someone from the dead showing up. We don't know who that is, but we show up just because, of course, Akaza about to die, so he's getting flashbacks. It's going to happen. This is anime. We see Doma, of course, fight Shinobu. Fight should have been over, but Doma plays around too much. Shinobu, flashback. Doma, flashback. Doma eating for like 5 minutes for some reason. Flashback. So while all this is happening, in a season where you could have fully fleshed out these villains and characters that we have to see, would have been better in a 24 episode elongated season where you could make the action sequences an anime episode, and then you can make a backstory an anime episode, where you could make another action sequence an anime episode and a backstory another episode, which would have been annoying for the consumers, us, the fans, of course, but it's better than doing 10 to 15 minutes and then stopping and saying, hey, look at this is why we should care about him, or hey, look at this is why we should care about her and why she's dying in the first place. No. Most people, of course, many people that are fans of Demon Slayers are only really there for the peak animation and the fight sequences that really come along with Demon Slayer at the forefront. That's kind of it. We all know the story is at the basic level is really bad. It's just not really a good story. It's just the animation itself, perfecto. So we are all excited to see this movie, but the animation for a Demon Slayer season is not bad at all. I can't really see the difference between a Demon Slayer season and the movie itself. I get it was probably higher quality, especially if you see it in like a theater, but I really cannot tell the difference between those two to be a point of factor to you, because the Demon Slayer seasons look like movie animation. It's better than some animation that other people don't get into other animes. So you don't even gotta be 24 episodes. It has to be 24 episodes because you get the flashback of Kobayashi, the flashback of Doma, the explanation of why Doma's like this, the explanation of why Akaza's like this. These are characters that need to be fleshed out, but you can only flesh them out in a season. You can't flesh them out even in a 2.5 hour movie, even if you split up the movies into 3 movies, ending with Muzan's defeat at the end. You have to go through all these flashbacks. Then you have to go through Yoruichi's flashback. Oh, you gotta go through Muzan's flashback. Other flashbacks that are inevitably have to take time away from what people really want to see in the movie, which is the action. That was my major issue with the movie itself, because you could have just upended and you could have stopped all this if you just put it into like one conducive season. And we could have waited for the season. Demon Slayer has been consistent, of course. We could have waited about a year or two for like a season to be as beautiful as the movies. We could have waited for that. But having it in a movie, especially say the next 2 movies are these hour-long specials. these 2.5 hours. It's still not enough time to flesh them out. Now, of course, many people are still going to go rewatch the movie and maybe get more out of it, but it's not enough time to really flesh out the villains and why we should really care for them that they're losing at any point in time, except Doma. Doma needs to go rather quickly. That's the second movie's problem. That's just me, because we probably won't see Kuku. We probably see Kuku Upper Moon One's defeat at the end of the second movie, so we could jump into Muzan's defeat in the last movie of the thing, as well as the montage and time jump spoilers in the third movie. But it needs to. I would have just enjoyed for like the characters to be a little more fleshed out. We all know, or at least if you don't know, the Demon Slayer ending is rushed off the Benefactor. When the manga was ending years ago, the author had to rush because he was facing problems in his personal life. That's just, it happens. So if they wanted to add lore, the author has that discretion. Of course, working with the anime company itself. They could have done it in a 24 episode season. You could have split unless they do it this way. They all these movies come out. Digimon did this. These movies come out and then they turn it into seasons for, I guess, the customers, better consumption of it. So if they go that route, cool, but they probably won't. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. If you think the Demon Slayer Infinity War should have been seasons, I think it should have been a season. I think you could have just stretched this out into like a 60 episode season and we wait a year or two for it to come out. You have the time, you have the money. Demon Slayer is that big of an anime. But that's just me. Anyway, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.